Hey guys, Renee here, your Soul Purpose Success Mentor, and I want to talk to you today about how a business can feel risky, right? So, for example, when I was called by Spirit to go host my first retreat in Mount Shasta, California, which was across country because I'm here in New York, when I had that calling, it was extremely risky financially, right? Because I'm going cross country and it was like, well, who's going to fly in to see me? Thankfully, I had 5 amazing women fly across country as well as from Canada to come and see me for my first retreat. This was back in 2016. But it was super risky, right? I mean, I was talking to Spirit like, why can't my first one be like a beta test here in New York? Why are you going to ship me to California to do my first retreat? Anyway, I worked through that feeling of risk, right? And I did it anyway. There was also my first speaking gig. It was at a holistic fair back in this was 2015. And I remember my voice shook for the whole 45 minutes. I had one of my Reiki students there, and so he was like my anchor. I was talking to him, but my voice shook for 45 minutes. And it was like, oh my God, people are going to walk out because they're going to think I'm such a beginner. I was afraid I might throw up. It felt risky to put myself in front of a room. And that particular speaking event was 40 people in my room because I was a breakout. So it was 40 people. And it felt risky. I mean, physically, it was scary and felt risky. Mentally, it was like, people could walk out, right? Like, what if people think what I have to say is not important or of value? It felt risky in that way. And then, of course, when I invested in my first coach back in 2015, that was crazy risky because why? We took out our 401k money to pay for that coach. Thankfully, I 10x'd my investment. But it was risky because we just had babies. My husband and I, we just bought a new apartment. So we had a mortgage, we had 2 kids, and I've left my database business. So here I am. And, we already took one risk, leaving my 6-figure business to step into my soul's purpose, my sacred business. And then on top of that, I'm investing more money in to the business by hiring a coach. So it was like layer of risk upon risk upon risk, right? My poor husband. I could take it because I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. But it still shakes me, right? Even though I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years with multiple businesses. So this journey of growing a business can feel risky, right? So put your hands up, type in yes if you feel me. It can feel really risky and scary. It's almost like every single first, right? First event, first retreat, first speaking gig, first whatever it is. Every first feels super risky. First coach, first high level investment. But is it really a risk? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. These layers of risks can feel one way, but is it true? Is it really a risk? So here's what I want to share with you. Back during the 1 year, the 1 or 2 years that I was straddling my 2 businesses, the database business with the sacred business, I picked up Wayne Dyer's book called Wishes Fulfilled. And there was a particular phrase in that book that grabbed me. And that phrase was, "We are spirit having a temporary human experience." Now look, many spiritual teachers teach this. It was not new to me even then. This was about maybe 7 years ago. Not new to me. However, it landed for me in a much deeper way that particular moment when I read that line in Dr. Wayne Dyer's book. And I realized, I've heard this before. I know this. But then in between hearing this, taught and retaught, in between, I forget. Right? Like I go back asleep spiritually and I forget that we are spirit having a temporary human experience. We get all caught up in life, right? It feels heavy living life. It feels real. And so, I said this time I want to really anchor in this knowing and I don't want to forget again. So what I did was I committed to using that line, where spirit having a temporary human experience, using that line as an affirmation, and I said it every single night for 30 nights straight. Now, every 5 nights or so, I would receive like an aha, or I would just know that there was a shift happening within me. Certain nights I would be able to grasp the concept that we're spirit having a temporary human experience. I would be able to grasp it in a new, deeper way that I could not articulate, but I knew I was getting it in a new, deeper way. There was a lot of shifts. So anywho, I think maybe it was like 2 weeks had gone by, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, if we are spirit having a temporary human experience, then there is no risk. If we're here temporarily, it's kind of like a game, right? We're spirit, and we're here to play a game for like about 100 years or so. And so there is no risk. If it's a game, then there's no serious consequence, really. Like, we're safe. We're going to return back to spirit form, right? We're completely safe. And so if we're safe and it's a game, then why not play full out? And I got it on a very deep level that year. This was about 7 years ago. And from that point on, I did not view risk the same way, which is why I've been in consistent action for the past 4 years since I went all in. So after that year reading the book, I went all in 2014, and I have made consistent income since 2015 through my sacred business. And as I keep showing up, as I keep taking these, what many people would say is risky moves, risky investments, I'm traveling all over the country to meet with my coaches. I'm traveling all over the country to meet with my clients. Like, that business model might be risky to some, right? Like, there's all these different things that I'm doing that some folks might feel are risky business moves. And then there's some visibility actions that feel risky, right? Like growing my visibility, expanding into my bigness, expanding into my potential, and really being seen as a spiritual leader. Like, all of that to the subconscious ego feels risky, right? But because I have navigated those risks, I am here today, having booked 6 figures in my business, having had consistent income through my business since November 2015, receiving 5-figure clients, and making great impact in my clients' lives. So one client just a few months back said she always thought signaling soul clients was like for other people. Oh, other people have soul clients, and she didn't think it was for her until she had worked with me privately and came to a couple of retreats of mine. She had this experience like, oh my God, she had the most amazing prospect on the phone, and she's going, I would love to work with her. And then that person signed to work with her as a coach, and she was just like, oh my God, like, I can do it too. I have soul clients too. So I so enjoy creating positive impact in my clients' lives, helping spiritual entrepreneurs, healers, and coaches really tap into their soul's core message, apply to their marketing so they could signal their soul clients and get paid for the profound transformation they offer. So that's what I do, and I could not be here today. Another client just recently wrote and shared in our group that she has made 6 figures in just 4 months of working with me. Other clients, they are changing who they be, which is, by the way, the signal you do send to the universe. This is how you signal your soul clients. They're changing who they be, anchoring themselves in a new way of being so that they can have new results, new success results show up in their business and their life. So I'm so, I wanted to say satisfied, fulfilled is kind of like overdone. I am so, it feels so fully orgasmic. It feels so good to see that my clients are being impacted in such deep ways in their life and their business, all because I've showed up and took these risks, right? So I want you to know that this is a journey. Know that things are not really a risk because you're safe in God. So I want you to write down in the comments below, what will you take on? What new action will you take on that used to feel risky, but now you're going to complete that action and show up as a spiritual leader that you are? So it could be something that you've been putting off. It could be the first, the dreaded first Facebook Live. It could be, the nerve-wracking speaking engagement that you want to get booked, right? So whatever it is, I want you to put it down in the comments below. How are you going to show up more powerfully and more boldly in your business so that you can create the impact that you're meant to have in the world? I can't wait to connect with you down below. And remember, you can grab the free Soul Purpose Success Formula when you go to reneelee.net/SPS formula. That's the 6 components to really positioning yourself into the right energetic foundation. So when you take the right action steps, like marketing, increasing your visibility, creating your funnels, when you take the right action and start making offers to people, you get yeses, and you get yeses with joy because you'll be connecting with your soul clients. So go to reneelee.net and grab your free gift, the Soul Purpose Success Formula, reneelee.net/SPS formula. And I'll see you guys soon.